Baguette here. Today I'm bringing you a good one. Bringing you the Glock 17, and this one happens to be a Gen 4. So what we have here is we got the granddaddy of all modern polymer guns, and this is, again, it's a Glock 17 is a Generation 4, so this is the fourth version of the original Glock 17 that came out in 1982. There were some other polymer guns that had come out before this, but they never took off, and they were failures. And this gun obviously is still being made today and is still a viable gun today. And you know, a lot of police forces and military forces around the world carry this today, and it's still quite popular with the public market too, civilian public market too. So we're here today to review it. And originally I didn't want to do a review on this gun because I have a Glock 19 that I've done videos with and full reviews on. But I read an article a few months ago, and basically on the history of this and when this was first imported from Austria into the United States, that this was the gun because it had a polymer frame that was invisible to radar detectors for airplanes, you know, for airport security. And people could board planes with these things with 17 rounds and 9mm, you know, and extra magazines, and hijack planes with these, which was totally true. But I think Time Magazine carried an article on it, I look at it now and it's pretty sad. It's kind of that whole thing where, you know, certain politicians talk about the gun show loophole, and there is no gun show loophole. It's just a term that the anti-gunners use to try to take our guns from us and prevent us from buying and owning these things. But this gun is all steel. I mean, the top of it is, the slide is, the barrel is, the spring mechanism is, so this will set off a metal detector. There's no way. And there's a lot of steel in this gun too. There's also steel inserts in the frame on this firearm, you know, to attach the slide onto the frame. So let's just go over it quick. If I can remember the specs on this gun right, the barrel's 4.5 inches. It holds 17 rounds standard capacity. We'll also take 33 round stick mags, and I did forget my 33 round stick mag. Since this is the Gen 4, it's got the back strap system, so this has no back strap on it now, but you can add them on there to fill up your grip to make the gun bigger. And the safety is protrudes a little bit more, which I like too. Also, it's very aggressive stippling on the handle with these Gen 4s. The sights are really standard on this model. Let's see if I can even see what's going on in here. Yeah, there we go. Those are basically, a lot of people call them ball and bucket. They're actually pretty accurate sights. I kind of like them. Some people bag on them. I think they're pretty functional. But if you don't like the sights, they're polymer. So you can actually drift out the rear one, and the front one, you know, unscrews from inside the slide, and you can put in slides. Also, my Glock 19, I have changed my slides. I have videos up for that too, to Trigicon night sights. So let's go ahead while we just brought up the Glock 19 and compare this. So here we have the two handguns right here. This is my 19, and this is I want to thank my buddy Dave too for letting me borrow. This is probably like the fourth handgun. You know, he's let me borrow to do a review on, and he's been very generous, and I always make sure I give him some ammo and I clean it up real good for him. But so here's my 19. Let's go ahead and take a look at these. Is that in the frame? Yeah. So you can see there's a 1/2 inch difference in the slide and barrel length right there on the 19. Also, the grips, you can see, are shorter on the 19. So the 19 basically has a 15 round mag, and the 17 has a 17 round mag. And that's basically the only difference between them, you know. Yeah, the 19's a little smaller than the 17, so it'll be a little easy to conceal this gun and carry this gun rather than this gun. But this gun, you're gonna pick up an extra 2 rounds. Also, your sight radius is longer, and I can definitely shoot the 17 a little better than the smaller 19 because that longer sight radius. Also, when you have an extended slide and it's longer, it makes the gun a little heavier, puts some weight farther out, and helps mitigate the muzzle rise. So you can see we got our plate right over there. We're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna put a few shots on it, and just so you can see me shoot this thing, and just notice the lack of muzzle rise with this big old gun here. As you can see, I can connect with it very, easily. I can connect with it quickly. And that's a small plate. That's a 6-inch plate. I'm gonna guess at probably at least 30 feet, 35 feet from here. It's a good 10 yards. And more empty. So you can see the slide locks back on this, like it should. But it's a Glock, and this is the original one, and this thing just runs great. Who would I recommend this gun for right here? I would recommend this gun. I think this is a great first-time buyer. A first gun for a first-time buyer. There's a certain guy's name is Chris, and him and his wife he's more looking for his first gun, and he says his wife's not opposed to it. But I think that this would be an excellent handgun for a first-time buyer. It's very shootable, very easy to shoot this gun accurately. Not quite as good as a single-action hammer-fired gun like a 226 or a Beretta 92 or CC 75 or a 1911, but this is a good shooter. It really is, and it's fun to shoot this gun. With the weight, the size of it, it makes this gun easy to shoot. And don't be scared of it. It's 9mm. 9mm is enough to do the job. Also, I think this gun would be excellent in a home defense role too. If you don't want to carry it, you can carry this gun, but it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a little more difficult because of the size of it. But if you were to mount a flashlight on this and put some Trijicon night sights on it, I think you would have an excellent home defense weapon right here, which is phenomenal. The other thing, this is a fun range gun. This is a fun gun to shoot, and this is a very accurate gun to shoot. And there's a big hill up behind me where I was standing shooting earlier, and I was shooting down in, some of these ice and some of these rocks here. And the accuracy I was wringing out of this gun, I'm just amazed shooting this gun. Let's go ahead and we'll take some more shots with it. Also, this gun will cycle anything too. You don't have any cycling problems with these 9mm Glocks. These things are so good. I don't have a ton of experience with this particular model. This is the second time I've shot it. My 19, I've run everything through it. I run hand loads through it. Hand loads, some brass I've reloaded 6-7 times. It runs it, doesn't care what it is, it runs it. Hot ones, light loads. It'll shoot 90-grain bullets. It'll shoot 147s, everything in between. They just don't care. They just run. They'll shoot Winchester white box, which is pretty inexpensive. Target ammo from Walmart. It cycles that stuff flawlessly. It cycles everything. A lot of people, and I think it's good to if you're going to use this as a defense gun, you're going to get some good hollow points for it, to go ahead and test those hollow points. Go ahead and buy a box, run a magazine through it, and make sure they run through your gun. But the Glock, you don't even need to. I have complete faith with a Glock, a 9mm Glock, that it's going to run anything I give it. Any common bullet I give it, Hornady, Spear Gold Dot, any cheap ammo in Walmart. I won't run steel cased ammo through here. I think that's just dumb. Let's go ahead and let's do some more shooting with this, and let's get a little farther from that target and see how what kind of accuracy can ring out of this. So I'm really a ridiculous distance from this plate right now, probably 30 yards. We're gonna try to get some hits on it right here and see what we can do. And all we're running today is we're running some Federal 115, the regular Walmart bulk ammo, real standard stuff. Plate's twisted a little bit. Still hit. So as you can see, you can hear the ringing. I've definitely got the hold down of this handgun a little bit better. But yeah, just a good shooter. This is a lot of fun to shoot, actually. I'm glad I'm doing this review today. I could have done it last year, but glad I'm doing it. So another point I want to get to about the Glock 17, that it's kind of, it's the daddy of all 9mm in the Glock family. They're all based off of this. So basically we have 4 in this direct family that have compatibility with this handgun right here. The Glock 34 is the competition model of this. The only difference in those two guns is, instead of having a 4.5-inch barrel, you're gonna have a 5-inch barrel. The magazines are still the same. It's still a 17+1 handgun, so the magazines are identical. So it'll have a longer slide on it. It's also got some hollow ports. It's made for competition use. I've shot one. I rented one in that, and I have a video up when I was in a place to shoot in San Antonio, Texas. That's an awesome. But if you have a Glock 34, these will share magazines. Also, if you have a Glock 19 and your magazine runs out of your Glock 19, take out your 17 mag and it fits in your 19. Also, if you have a Glock 26, which is the next size small in this, basically they're going to take off that last finger groove right here on the bottom of the gun and cut off another 1/2 inch of barrel. Makes a real compact gun. That holds 10 rounds +1 in a double stack magazine. 17 mags fit in a Glock 26 and 19 mags fit in a Glock 26. So that's also pretty cool too. So if you have a 17, you can carry a 19 as a backup or a 26 as a backup, and your 17 mags work in those too, not vice versa though. If there's any detractions from a Glock 17, I'm gonna say it's on the uglier side of things. It's not a pretty handgun. This size is not going to lend itself to easy carrying, but that's going to be it. It's 100% reliable. It's a lot of gun for the money. Also, the other thing I wanted to throw out there too is there's a lot of Johnny-come-latelys out there that are entering the polymer handgun market, and there's really nothing you can buy out there on another company that's come out. I'm not going to name names at all, but that have come out with their own versions of these polymer 9mm, these full-size guns that you can't get on the grandpa right here, on this good old 17. That there really isn't. The only thing that you can get a little improvement, I think, are some of the handguns like a H&K VP9, the Smith & Wesson M&P. A little more ergonomic. Your hand goes around a little better. The grip's a little more to your human hand, but I don't have big hands, and a Glock does feel good in my hand, and they do point naturally, and pretty naturally for me. Even though this does have a little different grip angle than a standard 1911, but very cool.